Welcome to another episode of the Dry Scoop Podcast. As you know, sometimes we have Tyler here with me, the great Tyler Chemness, and we do an interview style podcast, either with me. Sometimes we have a business owner, coach, athlete, famous person with us. And sometimes, like today, you just get me talking health, fitness, all things wellness, and going on little rants. So today we are going to be talking GLP-1s. A lot of stuff in the market about GLP-1s, good, bad, negative. I know a lot of people have changed their mind on them. I want to help you weigh if you're thinking about taking them, whether you should, shouldn't. I'm not going to tell you whether you should or shouldn't. That is a personal decision, as with any medication. But I think we can help you break down who it's for and kind of weigh the options here. Luke, wonderful producer behind the camera, he had mentioned he went to the store and found some tortillas that were GLP-1 friendly. Turns out there's nothing in the fucking bag because you don't eat. You like that, Luke? Okay. Who are GLP-1s for? Not me specifically, because I'm an adult with discipline and I have my life under control. No, I didn't mean to offend. Luke, don't leave. Luke, hey, here's the thing. I'm going to break this down. I want to make it really, really simple because, all jokes aside, I do think there are people who would really benefit from GLP-1s. I'm not talking diabetics. That's okay. GLP-1s, they were drugs made for blood sugar control, big fluctuations in your blood sugar, whether you are type 1 diabetic, obviously you'd be taking insulin, type 2 diabetes, that can be controlled with diet and some medications. Metformin, very good drug, even beyond type 2 diabetes, metformin can be a really good medication. Some people, very small percentage of people actually give some stomach discomfort too. I had tried it for a while. It's like a glucose disposal agent, a medicated glucose disposal agent. Metformin gave me some trouble, but berberine, for those of you out here, if you get a really high quality berberine, it can actually act as similar to a GLP-1 or metformin. It can actually act as a glucose disposal agent, helping your body rid your bloodstream of blood sugars, lower your blood sugar content, help stabilize blood sugars and appetite. That is, it's in a lot of the kind of the natural or pseudo supplements, GLP-1s. So look into berberine if you're looking for a supplement, kind of a workaround, I guess, for GLP-1s. We actually use some blood glucose disposal agents in our weight loss product in Light, so it does help stabilize the appetite, and lower your blood sugar levels, control your cravings, etc. Not only that, but it gives you some great input. This is a plug here. We don't do ads here on the podcast, but we do talk some tight nutrition. And in Light, the powdered weight loss supplement is a very cool one that has some GLP-1 like or acting ingredients in it in terms of appetite control, blood sugar stabilization, with tons of energy, nootropic kind of boosting mood effects as well. Back to GLP-1s and kind of weighing the options. So here's where I would say unequivocally, here's where I would recommend you are a candidate. And again, this is diabetes aside, for GLP-1s. If you are 100, 200, 300 pounds overweight, let's say this is for people, you are a candidate for lap band surgery. Okay, like the stomach shrinking surgery because you have an uncontrollable appetite. And a lot of these people, while diet would help, exercise would be a must. Their weight has gotten to a point where exercise outside of just very small movements is very difficult, going to be difficult to burn calories when you are that overweight. So we're talking 100 plus pound overweight people, I believe, because if you're looking at lap band surgery versus it's very invasive, you're talking surgery, there's a lot of risk involved with that. That's why those patients, if you watch what's the show with My 600 Pound Life, those people are trying to get into the doctor, the Indian guy, and trying to have that surgery. One of the things are they healthy enough, even at their very unhealthy weight, are they healthy enough to have the surgery? That's one part, okay? So if you're looking at surgery versus GLP-1, obviously go with the non-invasive version first. Do the GLP-1s, okay? Part of the reason those people have a very difficult time losing weight is because when they eat, when you have this kind of food addiction and your stomach is expanded, you constantly, it's more in depth in this, but You constantly feel hungry. They strengthen your stomach so you cannot eat as much. Therefore, you lose weight. With GLP-1s, you just reduce those cravings. You slow down the digestive tract and you don't eat as much. Okay. Again, if you can do it non-invasive, great, do that. Now, let's look at completely the other end. Okay. You're healthy. You're completely able to exercise injury-free. You just want to lose, let's say, 10 to 50 pounds. My personal opinion, you do what you want. My personal opinion, if that's all you have to use and you have no other reasoning not to lose the weight with your own self-discipline, diet, workout, etc., I think you'd be nuts to go on a GLP-1, and here's why. Because now all the side effects, you're not mitigating. Well, you're not looking at it as, well, I'm looking at surgery, let me start here. What you're doing is saying, I'm looking at this hard work I'm going to have to do to lose weight, the discipline in my diet. I'm just going to take the shortcut. I'll take the GLP-1. Now you will lose weight. It's very effective at weight loss. You will also set yourself up for some of the side effects. Anytime you take a drug enough to get an effect, you have the risk of side effects. Those being the mood. It can affect your mood, your libido. There is a muscle loss component, although it doesn't actively, it does not, I guess that drug does not make you lose muscle. When you start eating way less calories, especially proteins, you're going to lose muscle. And if you haven't developed the discipline in the first place to exercise, eat a healthy diet, including a high amount of protein, and you're just losing weight, you are going to lose muscle. And when you lose muscle, you lose your calorie burning engine. So kind of run that scenario out. You lose 50 pounds over the course of, let's say, 6 months by taking a GLP-1. Once you're down to a healthy weight, you go off the GLP-1. You were 200 pounds. When I say you lose 50 pounds, you're now 150 pounds. Female, you've gained no discipline. You've lost muscle, and you go right back to the lifestyle you had, and you probably will eventually, obviously, once the drugs are out of your system, you're going to gain your appetite back. You have no discipline to continue to eat the amount of food you were eating, so you start eating again. Now you have a smaller engine, meaning you're going to burn less fuel, less calories. You're a smaller version of the same thing. You're going to put on an equal amount of weight with less muscle mass, and I remind you, muscle is that's your longevity organ. You want to, if you look at older people, as you age, you tend to have sarcopenia, muscle loss. You want to keep as much muscle on yourself. I'm not talking about bodybuilders. I'm talking about just resistance training, keeping as much muscle on yourself as possible. People who have more muscle get sick less often. They have a better immune system. They're able to withstand injuries, accidents, all these things better. So if it's a matter of, do I take a GLP-1 to get off this weight loss? I'm going on vacation, I'm going to a class reunion, whatever. I just want to lose some weight. I've been unable to, but also I've been unable to develop the discipline, the lifestyle, the workouts, the diet. GLP-1s will be a shortcut. It'll be a Band-Aid that does get the weight off, but it'll be much more likely to gain the weight back. And it'll be harder to get off the second time if you haven't developed the skills and the discipline necessary to maintain a healthy weight. Now, there's all these people in between, right? I gave the example of someone who is 100 plus 200-300 pounds overweight looking at surgery. I gave the example of someone who's within 10 to 50 pounds. That's not much overweight. I'm saying this person shouldn't, this person should, my opinion. There's everybody in between, okay? And it really comes down to, historically, people try over and over again to lose weight, and the success rate isn't great. So you need to take an honest evaluation, okay? If you say, hey, I want to get this done, I want a shortcut, which there's nothing wrong with shortcuts. GLP-1s can be a way to get weight off, but you need to have an honest evaluation of, as I'm doing this, am I going to also develop the discipline and the lifestyle necessary to keep it off? Because if you want to look long-term health, that should be everyone's goal, is to be healthier, not just 6 months from now, but 6 years from now, 10 years from now, however long else. I want to be around my grandkids. I want to be healthy, and I want to get this weight off. Only then, if you think, I just want to get this off now, and when I'm lighter, I'm going to feel like moving, I'm going to do all these things, and you can actually keep that promise to yourself, maybe GLP-1 is a good option, okay? Now, I'm going to say for most people, you'd be better off doing that first. Okay, going back to the show, The 600-Pound Life. Remember, they have to show that they can lose weight, maintain weight first, because he wants to see if they're a candidate not just for weight loss, but for healthy lifestyle change. And you can run that own experiment yourself by, you don't even need, I mean, go get a trainer, don't get a trainer. You have ChatGPT. You can give me a 3-day-a-week body weight only resistance training. Here's the equipment I have, don't have, whatever. And you can get up and go for a 20-minute walk every morning if you're not doing anything and you do those two things. You can take pictures of your food, plug it in, get diet plans. If you have the discipline to do that, start there, then see if you still want to do the GLPs. But I think that's the thing you're weighing. Again, if you are weighing, no pun intended, if you're weighing well over 100 pounds plus of body weight to lose, I understand why that person is going, hey, I'm so unhealthy. I'm looking at some major health issues. The shot, the side effects of the shot are probably less than carrying around that amount of weight. If you're just trying to lose a few pounds, you're going to need the discipline anyway. Once you get it off, start with the discipline. You probably won't need the shot. There in between, you got to weigh those options. That's what I got for you today, folks. GLP-1s, like them, love them, leave them. That's my opinion. You have it.